We are a country that loves to bet on horses. Every spring we track the 3 races of the Triple Crown, and every spring I always have the same thought. We're still doing this?
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's the guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Going back to Miami,
Going back to Miami,
going back to my girl.
going back to my girl.
I said I'm going back to Miami.
Yeah. If you recognize that intro, you know that we are now back to Gulfstream Park for the championship meet all the way up until March. We'll be there. Unfortunately, only show content-wise and not actually there.
Yes, that is unfortunate.
And I know that Gulfstream Park is not in Miami, but sorry, there's no song called "Going Back to Hallandale Beach."
Well, there should be.
Well, so we have the going back to Miami with the Blues Brothers, and that's just going to have to work and have to do it. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. And yours?
Yeah, it was fine. Nothing eventful to report, unfortunately. We had a lot of people here. No family drama or anything like that. I didn't get to smoke a turkey. I was a little bummed out about that.
Cigar?
I did get to smoke a cigar. I actually smoked 2 in the cigar room with Lisa's father, and we found some programming on TV. They were doing a classic car auction, and just he's a car guy. He's a mechanic by trade, and he's a car guy. He's got a Corvette, but he's had some GTOs and so just every car that cycled through, he knew the car before they announced what it was. He knew the backstory behind it, why it was there, what made it a classic, all that. So that was actually really, really cool and a lot of fun. Speaking of cars, I have some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Our Chariot.
No, don't say it.
Our Chariot.
Say it ain't so.
The 2005 Lexus will not see 260,000 miles.
It will not see another Keeneland road trip?
Oh, the car that's been the source of so much fun, so many great road trips, has met its demise. And not even
silence.
Not even in it's a pretty scary moment on how it happened. I'm going down 80, middle lane of traffic on I-80, south suburbs of Chicago. There's 6 lanes of traffic going east and west, and I'm in the middle lane, and the drive train decided it did not want to work anymore, and it locked up the front wheels. And I skidded across a lane of traffic at 70 miles an hour and down into the ditch. So if you're going along I-80, if you're headed eastbound and you go under the 80th Avenue Bridge, normally there is a sign telling people to get off because that is the Credit Union 1 amphitheater exit coming up, which used to be the Tweeter Center, and then before that, the World Music Venue. You know what I'm talking about.
Worst venue to get in and out of in all of the world.
And there's no longer a sign telling you that's where you need to get off. Because I took that sign out. So, fortunately, no one was hurt except for the Lexus. Poor guy, girl, whatever you want to call it. I did get a ticket for taking out the road sign, though.
You're kidding.
No, the cop sent me an email. He's like, I got to write a citation because of the sign. So he wrote me a citation for following too close.
To the sign?
Too close to what? I don't know. So now I got to go. Now I got to take a day and go into court and fight this thing. It's like a $130 ticket. Plus, it goes on my record as a ticket. So I'm not going to let that happen. Yeah, I got.
Was it
I got
a state cop?
Yeah, had to be state because it was on the interstate that happened. And so then I had to call a tow truck to try and get it out of there. Then I've got a lane of traffic blocked on I-80 at 7:00 at night, which is not good because fire and rescue showed up because somebody else. I guess I clipped like the back part of his vehicle. He was fine. He actually came running back. He pulled over the side of the road and came running back and checked on me as I was climbing out of my car in the ditch. And he's like, I'm gonna just call the police and tell them, we're here. He called 911. So an ambulance showed up, fire and rescue showed up, the big fire engine showed up, lights going, had a lane of traffic blocked, even though I'm down in the ditch. So I had to call a tow truck, and the guy I'm explaining to her where I'm at. I'm on the south side of I-80, in between LaGrange and Harlem. Just after
right by the World Music sign.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm underneath the World Music sign at this point. No, right by the 80th Avenue Bridge. I'm headed eastbound. He's like, can you send me a pen? No, I'm not going to send you. I just explained to you where I'm at. Go east on I-80 from LaGrange to Harlem. Go east on I-80. Look for the big fucking fire truck that's got a lane of traffic blocked with the lights going. Winch my car out of the ditch and take it to its final grave, please. So I actually hung up on it. I said, hey, if you can't figure out where I'm at from that description, you're not smart enough to tow this car. I'm not letting the Lexus go out like that. So, and then the state police showed up and they actually called the tow for me anyway. So, but I got his brother still. I got the other blues brother. So that's going to be the new one for me.
Is that our new road? Is that our new
yes
touring vehicle?
Yes, it's the new one. You won't even notice a difference. It's the same color, same crack and wear in the dashboard.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same character. It doesn't have the same dents for when we got rear-ended going into Keeneland on a Sunday. And I miss those things.
After the 3 days prior to that, when I got slammed into in the parking lot and couldn't get the door open.
Right.
Yeah, so that's too bad. But it's I'm in full wrestling mode, so we're actually doing this on Friday night. You'll get it. You, the listener, will hear it on Saturday morning, but we're doing it on Friday night. Now, there's a couple of advantages of doing it on Friday night. I got one right here in my hand.
Yeah, I don't have to do it sober.
Yeah, this isn't bad. I got a nice little cocktail here, and I'm going to take some intermittent sips, and you're going to get a lot of good content out of this.
One of the many highlights of Thanksgiving is the relative of mine that hosted. He's not really a drinker or whatever, but he, for some reason, had ended up somewhere and ended up at Buffalo Trace, and he cracked open a bottle of Blanton's yesterday.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Have you ever had that? Was that the first time having that? I don't think I've ever shared any Blanton's
didn't
with
I have that with you at Keeneland when you went to that cigar?
Right. Yeah, you might have.
I think that's the first time I had it. You turned me onto that.
Yeah. That's a good find. Yeah, I missed when I was a kid. We used to go to my grandparents' house, and they had an old chess set that was missing some pieces. So they replaced them with like the nativity scene pieces. And my uncle used to cheat. I was like, Uncle Raj, that's a pawn. That can't move that way. That's the son of God. He can move whatever way he wants. I'm like, all right, fine. But
if you're gonna blaspheme, you might as well not argue with it.
I'm doing the show with pants on. That's a first since we're doing it in the evening.
That's good.
I might be a tad more alert. I don't have quite the bass in my voice though. So I don't know if I sound as sexy and velvet as I normally do. But I got a good, since we are in full wrestling season, I got a good story, and then we'll get going on. But we had our first tournament on Wednesday, and it was a varsity level tournament, but we're such a high end program that we actually take our second strings to these tournaments sometimes, because our varsity already has their set tournaments that they do for the year, and you can only have so many matches and so many weigh-ins. They only allow you to do so much, and so we've already had our schedule set. But one of the teams over in Illinois invited us, and we were like, well, we'll send our second string, and they'll be semi-competitive. We were not that competitive, but this group usually involves a lot of freshmen this is their very first high school competition. And so even though it's the same procedures what they did in middle school, they're still always a little unsure as to what to do. So again, we're over in Illinois. We're in Aurora. And obviously we're a team from Indiana. And so little Charlie Drexler, 113-pound freshman, barely has hair on his nuts, steps on the scale to weigh in. And the guy goes, "State your name." And he goes, "Indiana." I go, no, Charlie, not state your name, not name your state. He goes, "Oh, Charlie Drexler from Indiana." So, all right, so are you ready to go? We're going to be doing a couple of these Friday night ones up until, probably February, until I get done with this crap again. So.
Yeah, ready to rock.
You ready? All right.
Yes.
All right. Gulfstream Park. First post, 12:20 Eastern, 11:20 Central, 10:20 Mountain, 9:20 to our friends out on the West Coast. Should not be any surface changes tomorrow. There's a spot shower, but it should be fine for down there. The weather's supposed to be nice and sunny. You never know with South Florida weather. They come and go. Probably the best way to consume this podcast is to listen to us up through race 5 if you want to do the pick 5. Pick 5 does start with race 1 today. So listen to us up through pick 5. Hit the pause button. Go put your pick 5 tickets together. Come back, unpause us after race 5, and we'll get the back half of the card for you. If you just want to go race to race, that's fine too. Listen to us up through race 1. Hit the pause button. Go get your bets in. Come back. Unpause us for race 2. Pause us. Go get your bets in. So on and so forth. All right, let's go. Race 1.
Race 1, Gulfstream Park. We've got a maiden special weight. This is for maiden filly 2-year-olds, and we're going 5 furlongs on the turf.
Yeah, it's getting late in the 2-year-old season. My top selection in here, I did go to the 7-horse Epic Lady Luck. Brian Lynch trains on this one. J.J. Castellano has the mount. Horse was last seen at Keeneland at the fall Keeneland meet, the 17th of October, going 5.5 over the turf in a maiden 110, where it got second by a half a length. 2 races back, Kentucky Downs in a maiden 170, going 6.5, where it got second by 3.5 lengths. All 3 of these lifetime starts have been ridden by an In Juarez. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Nick Juarez.
Nick Juarez. Well, we're going to J.J. Castellano.
There you go.
He's riding what? What is he riding?
He's riding here today, I think, Nick Juarez.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
We're making a jockey change to Javier Castellano. The horse is dialing back in distance, so we went 5.5 last time at Keeneland. Today we're going 5. Horse had the lead by 2 lengths headed down the straight and ended up giving up the lead and finishing second by a half. So the dial back in distance should be what this horse needs. This is a Vacoma out of a mare line I'm not familiar with, but they paid $165,000 for this horse on a $35,000 stud fee. And it seems to be improving and heading in the right direction. 3 career starts, speed figure went up after every start. And I don't have the morning lines on any of my stuff because I printed this out on Thursday and I did all my homework on Thursday. So what do we have for a morning line on the 7?
2-1.
2-1. All right, so 2-1 morning line. I went to the 7-horse Epic Lady Luck as my top selection in here.
And my top selection in here, I went to the 7-horse Epic Lady Luck. This horse is the buyer speed figures are moving in the right direction. It debuted August 2nd at Ellis Park on the dirt. Faded badly in that race, but then at Kentucky Downs going to the turf for the first time, the buyer went from a 45 to a 49. That was at 6.5 furlongs. The horse did tail off. The filly did tail off in that race. And then October 17th at Keeneland, turned back from 6.5 to 5.5, tailed off just a little bit. But the buyer still went from a 59 to a 63. I think this 5 furlong distance is probably right. The reason I went here, I mean, Brian Lynch, small sample size, he's already off to a pretty hot start here in the early stages of this championship meet. I love the comment in the October 17th race at Keeneland. What is your
Inside, wandered about, bested.
Yeah. Wandered about. I like that. Just, Philly still figuring out the game. Hey, I'm out by 2 lengths. Hey, I think I know that person in the grandstand. Let me just start to wander over that way. So a little bit unprofessional, but I think going forward, JJ replacing Nick Juarez in the irons. No great shakes on the morning line, but definitely probably the filly to catch. So I, too, will make the 7 Epic Lady Luck my top choice.
My second selection here, I'm going to go to the 1 horse, Chance to Party. Mary Leitner trains on this one. Rajiv Murrah has the mount. 10-1 morning line on this one. I'm starting to get my morning lines in here as you're giving out your picks. This horse was last seen the 5th of September at Colonial, going over the turf, going 5.5 in a state-bred maiden 88, where it got third by 2 3/4 lengths. Horse that got second in that race came back and won, broke its maiden, so quality field there. The horse does have an open company race going over the Tapeta surface at Gulfstream Park in August in a maiden claiming 35, where it got second by 2 3/4. But that last time was the first time that horse had taken to the turf or had tried the turf. And it seemed to respond pretty well. The problem is it went out. It was just fired out of the 1 hole, which is what we're firing out of today. But it got on the lead, and it had the lead by a tire length at first call and by a half a length at second call, because it went out in 21 seconds. And then after that, it backed it up with a 44. So hopefully Rajiv Murrah can slow it down just a little bit, because it still came out in those blistering fractions going 5.5. It still ended up third by 2 3/4. It's been off for a month, so Mary Leitner's been in the lab tinkering a little bit. She's got a pretty good record when she brings them back after a layoff of that length, winning at a 29% clip. And listen, this horse can get on the lead from the rail, and speed is always dangerous in a 5 furlong race. So again, we're dialing back in distance from the last race of 5.5. Back down to 5. It's coming out of the 1 hole again. It's got 2 career starts in the 1 hole. Both starts in the 1 hole. It got on the lead. Now it's just a matter of whether or not we can get it to quit running 21-second fractions. But if it can at a 10-1 morning line, I'm pretty interested. So I went to the 1 horse, Chance to Party, as my second selection in here.
My second selection, I'm going to go all the way to the outside to the 8 horse Elenique. Almost made this my top selection in here. This is a first-time starter. Leinster out of a Cape Blanco mare. $2,500 stud fee. Patrick Biancone spent and the connection spent $140,000 for this filly. Has a couple of races all over the Palmetto turf course. Definitely a filly they want to get on the grass. A couple of decent workouts, but more so the surface rather than the actual times of the workouts intrigued me. Jonathan Nicasio is up for this one. I think this one's pretty well meant in here at 7-2 morning line. So I'm going to make the 8 horse Elenique my second choice.
My third selection here, I'm going to go to the 3 horse Tossing. Mark Casse trains on this one. See, now this is an actual cough because I'm in the middle of talking. Got some phlegm. Mark Casse trains on this one. Miggy Vasquez has the mount. 6-1 morning line on this horse. This horse is a first-time starter. Mark Casse pretty good with his turf debuts, winning at a 13% clip. That's a big sample size there. This is a Cairo Prince out of a Pure Prize mare. Both of them are pretty well bred for the turf. I just like the breeding on this one for the grass. I like the fact that Mark Casse has enough confidence in it to send it to the grass on the very first run. And Miggy Vasquez at long odds is always something that I am very interested in. So I did go to the 3. Tossing is my third selection here.
My third selection, I'll go to the horse right above it. Breakup for Brendan Walsh, JDT Racing. Edgard Zayas has the mount. This is an Irish-bred filly. Regular listeners to this podcast know that I do have an affinity for Irish-bred fillies. A couple of decent workouts. This one's coming off of November 19th at the Palm Meadows on the turf horse, going 5 furlongs. Brendan Walsh decided to work this filly out going 5 furlongs, this exact distance. The race prior to that had a bullet versus only 4, and then prior to that, another workout on the Palm Meadows. Should this one, for any reason, wash off the turf, which I doubt, but you never know in South Florida, I also really like this one, kind of moves up on the Tapeta surface. But I will make the 2, Breakup, my third selection.
And my fourth selection here, I'm going to go to the 5, Elegant Charm. Mark Casse trains on this one. Immaciel Jaramillo has the mount. 9-2 morning line on this horse. This is another first-time starter. This is a good magic out of a Hennessy mare. They paid $330,000 at auction for this horse after $125,000 stud fee. So a pretty hefty investment here. This is, again, a newer sire that they bred to an older mare. That's something that we like to look at, the newer sire to the older mare. Both are bred pretty well for the turf. In one thing that I like to look at is SPI in the Brisnet publication. This horse does have the highest combined SPI out of anybody in this field today. So I get a square morning line of 9-2 on Elegant Charm. I went to the 5. Elegant Charm is my fourth selection in here.
And my 4 selection's your third choice. The 3 tossing for Mark Casse and Lighthouse Racing. Miggy Vasquez is up for this one. I do like the breeding for the grass, as well as your 4th choice, the other Mark Casse horse. The reason I don't have this horse a little bit higher is I think there's probably a little bit more distance in the future of both of these horses. Cairo Prince out of Pure Prize. You're actually your 4th choice with Hennessy on the back end. Probably a little bit more speed there, but I did like the breeding here, although I do think that he's going to stretch this filly out at some point. So I will make the 3-horse tossing my 4th choice.
All right, so I'm 7-1-3-5. You're 7-8-2-3.
Correct.
All right, race 2.
Race 2, Gulfstream Park. We've got a $10,000 claiming race. This is for 3-year-olds and upward, and we're going to go 5 furlongs on the Tapeta course.
All right, my top selection in here, I went to the 2-horse Retained. Ken Sweesney trains on this one. Nick Juarez, who I just mentioned, has the mount. Who's in? Nice job, stupid. He's riding your top selection in race 2. Who's in Juarez? What an idiot. Nick Suarez has the mount. 6-1 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen the 24th of October at Gulfstream Park, going over the Tapeta surface at this exact condition in a claiming 10, where it got second by a half a length with Sammy Camacho up. Took some pretty good money in that one. Went off at 3.5 to 1. Comments here say Duel Inside and Gamely drew the 1 hole in that race. 2 races back, same condition, going 5.5, draws the 1 hole again, finishes 3rd by 1.25 with Miggy Vasquez up. Took all the money in that one, went off at almost even money, ended up 3rd by 1.5. It says shuffled and then re-rallied. So horse that finished 2nd in that race ended up coming back and winning the very next one. So again, a decent field there, as decent a field as you can get for $10,000 claimers. So this is the 3rd time trying the condition. We get a little bit of post relief moving from the 1 hole here out to the 2 hole. Ken Sweesney, very dangerous at Gulfstream Park. But I like those last 2 efforts at this condition, and I think this horse gets it done today at a nice price. So I did go to the 2-horse Retained as my top selection in here.
My top selection, I'm going to go all the way to the outside to the 10-horse, Readier for Steve Glaceris, Roger Sterling. Jose Morelos has the mount here. This is a horse that Steve Glaceris claimed 2 back for $5,000. That race was going 5.5 on the Tapeta surface. Claimed it out of that one and moved it up to a mile 70. This horse had done nothing but sprint its entire career, but he tried to go a mile 70 on October 11th. First off the claim, Morelos was up for that one. I don't know if he's trying to build some stamina up for this horse, or he just saw the more than ready on the top end and thought maybe this horse could get farther. It did show speed in that race. It trailed off because it really doesn't want to go that far. This loves the Tapeta surface at Gulfstream Park. 8 starts, 3 wins, a second and a third. Never been out of the trifecta at the distance. 3 starts, 2 wins, and a third. Moving back down to the claiming price of $10,000. Second off the claim. Morning line 3-1 is solid. No great shakes, but I like the 10-horse Readier as my top selection.
My second selection here, I went to the 7-horse, If Not for Luck. Bo Chapman trains on this one. Micah Husbands has them out. 9-2 morning line on this horse. This is a horse making a first start for a trainer after the claim. Was last seen the 24th of October running at this condition, at this distance, where it was claimed for $10,000 by Bo Chapman for SkyMax Stables. Finished 4th by 2 lengths in that one. Was the betting favorite at 2.5 to 1. But the comments here say traffic, turn, rail bid. So when this horse hit the straight, it was 8th by 4.5 out of 9 horses. Picked its way through the field and then ended up 4th by 2. So made up a lot of ground. Probably couldn't get going there. It was 9th at the second call by 5 3/4. So a troubled trip there, but I look at the last 4 trips this horse has had. The last one, traffic, turn, rail bid. 2 races back in an optional claiming 35 going over the Tapeta surface, off slow, and gained 3rd at an optional claiming level. And then the race before that, in a claiming 35,000 beaten, where it finished 3rd by 2 3/4, swung 4 wide. And then the race before that swung 4 wide. So, I don't know, maybe we get a better trip today. We might have a better result, especially when it's making a start for a new trainer. Small sample size, but first starts after the claim. Bo Chapman at 20%. But this is a horse for the course. 16 starts at Gulfstream Park, 11 times in the trifecta, and 10 starts at the distance, 8 times in the trifecta. So 8 for 10 and 11 for 16. Square morning line of 9-2. I went to the 7, If Not for Luck, is my second selection.
My second selection is the horse right above it, Star of the Beast, for Laura Cesaris. Edgar Zayas has the mount, replacing Jose Morelos, who jumps over to my top selection. Another horse for the course angle here, 19 starts, been in the money 13 times at Gulfstream Park, has not won at this distance on the Tapeta surface. And that is something we've talked about in past podcasts, is 5 furlongs versus 5.5 furlongs does make a difference when you're talking about these sprint races. 3 races back at 5 furlongs, runs a big second to XY point, and then comes back and wins at 5.5. Does it need that extra 5? Does it need that extra half a furlong? It very well could be, but that's evident in the 0 for 5 at 5. I just think that this horse at 4-year-old running very well right now. The last buyer jumped from 64 to 79. That was moving up in class, moving from 8,000 beaten into a $10,000 open. It was a really nice race. Yeah, maybe it does need to back. Really, it does need that extra half a furlong. We shall see. But I will make the 6, Star of the Beast, my second choice.
And my third selection here is the 10, Readier. I found it interesting. Still a horse at 6 years old. You don't see that too often.
Yeah.
The one right
You're going to breed it.
Yeah, whatever. Probably some good hunter jumpers there. But yeah, 3 1/4 length win with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard at this $10,000 condition back in August. So give us your third selection.
My third choice, I go to a little bit of a price, and that's the 8, Sultan the Great, for Nader Mubarak. He owns this horse as well. Carlos Martinez in the irons for this one. Nader Mubarak not sending out a lot of horses. Sent out 16 so far this year with 5 wins, a 38% win ratio. Carlos Martinez jumping on board for this one, and this one does like 5 furlongs. Also likes the Gulfstream Park Tapeta surface. 13 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and at this 5 furlong distance, 2 wins, a second, and a third. I think that this horse gets a little bit overlooked with some of the other horses in here and some of the other bigger names in here. A 10-1 morning line, I give a big shot to the 8 horse, Sultan the Great, my third choice.
And my 4th selection in here, I went to the 1 horse, Banneker. Jose Castro trains on this one. Jesus Rios has the mount. The horse was last seen just a couple weeks ago, 7th of November, going over the Tapeta surface in a 5 furlong optional, claiming 20, where it got 7th by 5 1/4. That was with Jesus Rios aboard. 2 races back, ran at this condition with Jesus Rios aboard and won by an entire length. Was completely ignored at the window. Went off at 20, almost 21-1. Horse that it beat in that race came back and won its next race. Probably another $10,000 claimer. So comments there say shook free and dug in late. That was before the trainer change. So we moved from Hernan Parra to Jose Castro. But I like Jesus Rios retaining the mount. Jesus has a win at this condition aboard this horse. 13 starts at Gulfstream Park, 3 wins, 12 starts at the distance, and 3 wins. Square morning line of 5-1. I went to the 1 horse Banneker as my 4th selection in here.
And my 4th selection is the 2 horse Retained. I know you had that in your top couple. Was that your top pick?
That's my number 1 pick.
Yep, your number 1 pick. Last 2, nothing wrong with the last 2 starts at 10,000. One going 5.5, then shortened up to 5 last time out with Sammy Camacho. Gets Nick Juarez here. Hasn't quite made the winner circle at Gulfstream or at this distance, but might be sitting on a big race here. That's a little bit of post relief, not a lot moving off the rail from the last 2, just moving 1 outside slot. But I always do like to look for that. Could be a better situation for this horse. So I will make the 2 horse Retained my 4th selection.
All right, so I'm 2-7, 10-1. You're 10-6, 8-2.
Correct.
All right, race 3.
Race 3, Gulfstream Park. We have a maiden special weight. This is for 2-year-olds, and we're going 6 furlongs on the main track.
All right, where is my thing at? The 3, there it is. All right, my top selection in here, I went to the 3 horse Global Aviator. Rohan Crichton trains on this one. Joe Bravo has the mount. 8-1 morning line on this horse. This horse is a first-time starter. Now, most listeners to the show know I hate betting first-time starters, but I don't really have a choice in this one. There's only 1 horse in here with a start under its belt. I've got it on my ticket. I just like this one a little bit better. Rohan Crichton, pretty good with his first-time starters, 20% win percentage. This is another angle we like to look at. This is a younger sire global campaign out of the Curlin line to an older mare, a quality road mare. She's already dropped 1 horse and has a winner out of it. So I like all those angles. I especially like the 8-1 morning line on this one. Joe Bravo riding pretty well. He's kind of the cat there while the other cats are away at other tracks. He'll drop down to his normal, 15% win percentage here pretty soon. So I guess he's to 12. But anyway, I digress. No, I like Rohan Crichton's win percentage with his first-time starters. I like the younger sire to the older mare, and I like the fact that she's 1-for-1 in starters. And I like the 8-1 morning line. So yeah, the 3 Global Aviator is my top selection in here.
My top selection, I'll go to the rail horse, Treptow, the morning line favorite. Danny Gargan, R.A. Hill Stables. Miggy Vasquez up for this one. This son of Good Magic. They spent $850,000 for this one at auction. Been working steadily at Palmettos for its debut. They did have this horse out at Saratoga, and then there was a break in the workouts. I'm not sure if something happened. They couldn't find the right spot. Gargan couldn't find a spot for this horse, or they had to stop on him and start again. But looks like all systems are go for this good Magic. Gargan's pretty good with his first-time starters and definitely good with 2-year-olds. I expect this, I'm not crazy about the rail start. We all know that, especially for 2-year-olds, but I think this one's pretty well meant. So I will go with the 1 Treptow as my top selection.
My second selection here, I went to the 5-horse Game Boss. Jorge Delgado trains on this one. Jose Morales has the mount. 7-2 morning line on this one. This is another first-time starter. Jorge Delgado, pretty good with his first-time starters, winning at a 19% clip. This is a couple of unknowns here. We've got a Candy Ride sire here. Game winner out of Mr. John Mayer. Neither have a lot of data here, so I'm really kind of just going on what Jorge Delgado has done with his first-time starters. My comments here say the dam has 3 winners from 4 starters and a 24% win percentage in dirt starts for Jorge Delgado. So 21% maiden special weight, 20% debut maiden special weight. So square morning line of 7-2. I went to the 5 Game Boss as my second selection in here. I'm sorry, I went to the 5.
Yeah.
Did I say the Game Boss? Yeah, 5 Game Boss is my second selection in here. Yep.
My second selection, I'll go to a little bit of a price shot in here, and that's the 2-horse Richie W. Dream for Anthony Margota. 4W Stables and Arm Racing, which is Anthony Margota. Nick Juarez has the mount. This is I like me some Penn National shippers, and this horse went off as the 2-1 favorite at Penn National on September 18th, and now shipping in here to Gulfstream Park to make its second lifetime start. Margota's not really known for his 2-year-olds, but he buys into this one with his partners, and he is willing to ship this one in at this meet. He knows he's going to run into the top 2-year-olds out there, but he's not afraid of that. Beaten favorite, I go from 2-1 to getting 20-1. I've also always loved that angle, so I'm going to make the 2 Richie W. Dream. Nice price shot as my second choice.
Yeah, that's my third selection in here too. Has a start under its belt. Margota's had a chance to see it run. He's been in the lab tinkering for the last 2 months. They only paid $16,000 for this horse after a $12,000 stud fee. So nobody was looking, and all of a sudden they throw it out there for its debut at Penn National, and they bet the shit out of it at first sight. It went off at a little over, like you said, over a 2-1. And now we're getting the last time out favorite being ignored at 20-1. So, yeah, for a 20-1, I went to the 2 Richie W. Dream as my third selection.
And my third selection, I'll go to the outside horse, Epico for Antonio Sano. Edgar Zayas is up for this one. Sano's another guy who's not really known for having his first-time starters cranked up, especially his 2-year-olds. But this is out of this horse is out of Violence. It's a real nice first-time starter. Distorted humor on the back end. So this horse is pretty well bred to perform at first asking. For a trainer that doesn't really try to get the most out of his horses at first asking, but sometimes the breeding can outrun that. Edgar Zayas is up for this one. 9-2 morning line. Like to see that a little bit higher. Hopefully it'll drift up, but I'll make the 7 Epico my third choice.
So I'm 3-5-2. You're 1-2-7.
Correct.
Okay. All right, race 4.
Race 4, Gulfstream Park. We've got a maiden optional claiming. This is for 2-year-olds, and we are going 5.5 furlongs back on the Tapeta surface.
My top selection in here, I went to the 3-horse Urgency. Mark Cassidy trains on this one. Emiseo Jaramillo has the mount. This horse was last seen the 19th of October going a mile on the turf in a state-bred maiden 53 with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard, where it gets second by 2 1/4. It was pretty heavily bet in that race, went off at a little more than 2-1. But this horse made its debut at Churchill in an open company maiden 120, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Didn't get bet, finished 10th out of 12 horses off a step slow, I would say so. So brings it back, goes from 6 furlongs to a mile, throws it on the turf, and now we're going back to the Tapeta. So now it's going to be this horse's third different surface in 3 tries. But stat here, route sprint for Mark Casse winning at a 21% clip. There was a pretty nice speed figure jump from the maiden to the second race, 60 Brisnet to 73 Brisnet. And this is a horse that's going to try and get out on the lead. Having a little bit of post relief. Its first 2 career starts were on the rail. Now we're moving out to the 3-hole. I think he's going to try and get it on the lead. And who do you want on a speed horse? You want Emissail Jaramillo on a speed horse. So square 7-2 morning line. I went to the 3 Urgency as my top selection in here.
My top selection, I'm going to go to the outside horse. That's Abba Joni for Rohan Crichton. This is a horse that he went to. What is it called?
Ababa Joni.
Okay, Ababa Joni. There you go.
Ababa Joni. You don't know who Ababa Joni is?
I thought it was a song.
I don't know either.
Okay.
Bottoms up.
Ababa Joni for Rohan Crichton. Anthony Thomas has the mount here. This is a Neolithic out of an It's No Joke mare. Horse that's a colt that's bred not just to win first out, but to also like this Tapeta surface. Rohan Crichton goes and gets Anthony Thomas in the irons. A very, I guess, well-traveled jockey. I think he's like a winning jockey, a 3-time championship jockey in Jamaica, trying to come over here to Gulfstream Park. Has 20 starts in the States with 2 wins. Rohan Crichton's a sharp guy. He's got 24% win percentage with this jockey. We're getting a nice morning line of 9-2. I think this one's pretty well meant in here. Like the outside draw. The 8, what you call it?
Ababa Joni.
That one. That's my top choice.
All right. My second selection in here, I went to the 2-horse. Beau Black, 4-1 morning line on this horse. Jose Castro trains. Jose Morales has them out. This is a first-time starter. Jose Castro has sent out 2 first-time starters and has 2 wins. So he's 100% on first-time starters. He's got 62 horses start on the all-weather. He's winning 21% of those. This is an Instagrand, which is in the Into Mischief line, and a Liam's Map mare. Paid $25,000 for this horse at auction after a $10,000 stud fee, so not a ton of money tied up in this one. I'm going to assume that JC Racing Stable is probably Jose Castro. Do you think that that's probably a pretty safe? Yeah, that'd probably be a safe bet. So, yeah, goes to auction, takes this one for himself, and like I said, he's already sent out 2 first-time starters and has won with both of them. So 4 square warning line of 4-1. I went to the 2, Beau Black, as my second selection in here.
My second selection, I'm going to go to the 4-horse, Sweeping Shadow for Lisa Lewis. Luca Panici is up for this. This is a Gervin. I really like these Gervins first time out. I like them with 2-year-olds. I'm not really sure. I mean, you don't see a lot of them running on the synthetic surface on the Tapeta. I don't think the horse will hate the surface. Lisa Lewis and Luca Panici have a nice record running together. She's another one that doesn't, she's not known for having her horses cranked up or ready to go at first asking, but she's certainly a competent trainer. I like the combination. I certainly like the breeding. So I'm going to make the 4, Sweeping Shadow, my second choice.
My third selection in here, I'm going to go to the 1-horse, Magic Solar. Oscar Gonzalez trains on this one. Yolber Torres has the mount. Yolber Torres has the mount. 8-1 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen going over the turf at Gulfstream Park just a couple of weeks ago, November the 2nd, going 5 furlongs over the turf in a maiden claiming 35, where it ran the highest speed figure of its career. It's got 3 career starts. It ran an 80. Brisnet speed figure, got second by a nose with Lionel Reyes aboard. What I found interesting is Oscar Gonzalez, who also owns this horse, and paid $40,000 for it at auction, was willing to lose it for $35,000 and is now not willing to lose it for $50,000. So it's not in for the claim. So it's gone from being in for $35,000 to not in for the $50,000 today. There must have been something in there that Oscar Gonzalez saw and really liked in that last effort, even though it was on the turf, to the point where he doesn't feel like he wants to lose this horse for $50,000 anymore. And it's not like he's got a whiny owner's kid going, I don't want to lose the horse, Daddy. Don't put it in for the claim. He owns the horse. All right. So there's something there that he sees that he, again, doesn't want to lose it for $50,000. He was willing to lose it for $35,000 before he saw it run the last time. So I did go to the 8 Magic Solar as my third selection in here. I'm sorry. I went to the 1 8-1 morning line. Magic Solar as my third selection in here.
My third selection, I'll go to the 5-horse Pike for Fernando Abreu, Tom McCronklin. Javier Castellanos taking over for Cipriano Gil. This is a horse that went out last time at 20-1 and ran a big second place finish at 5.5 furlongs, going over the Tapeta surface. Coming right back at the same 5.5 furlong distance, moving off the rail. It started in the 1 hole last time. Now it gets to move out to a much better position in the 5 position. And Javier Castellano taking over, nothing against Cipriano Gil, but I think that is a little bit of a jock bump for Fernando Abreu on this. 64 buyer last time out. Pretty well meant in here. No great shakes on the morning line at 3-1, but a horse that definitely can improve off the first start. So the 5 Pike is my third selection.
And the 5 Pike is my fourth selection in here. Really good debut run. 74 Brisnet speed figures when I'm showing in the debut, going over the all-weather surface. So we'll see if there's a regression off of that. But, yeah, the 5 Pike is my fourth selection. I'm sorry. Yep, 5 Pike.
And my fourth selection here is the 3 Urgency. Horse that you picked, was that your second choice?
That's number 1.
That's your top choice, the 3 Urgency
Yes.
for Mark Cassie and DJ Stable.
Yep.
Not really sure what to make. $80,000 purchase. They tried the dirt, then they went to the turf, and what the hell? Let's try the third surface. We'll see what we got here. They're turning back in distance and going turf to dirt, but it is getting post relief. The first 2 starts on the rail, I can't emphasize enough how much I like that, especially 2 rail starts moving outside. You had mentioned if you're going to show some speed, you do want the minister of speed aboard, and that's what you got. So the 3-horse Urgency is my fourth selection.
All right, so I'm 3, 2, 1, 5. You're 8, 4, 5, 3.
Correct.
All right, race 5.
Race 5, we have the My Dear Girl Overnight Stakes. This is for 2-year-olds, Florida breds, going 1 1/16 on the main track.
All right, well, my top selection here, I did go to the 3-horse Mythical. Jorge Delgado trains on this one. Emiseo Aramillo has the mount. 1-5 morning line. Probably go down to 1-9 by the time they leave. This horse was last seen at Gulfstream Park on the 18th, running in a restricted overnight stakes race where it won by 12 lengths with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard. This horse has 5 career starts, 4 wins. All 5 have had Emiseo Jaramillo aboard. The one non-win was in the Spinaway at Saratoga, going 7 furlongs, where it got 5th out of 7 horses with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard. But this horse won the Adirondack. This horse won the Tremont. That's a race for boys. She went in there and won it by 3.5 with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard. So, you know, hard to argue with what this little filly has done. She's got 2 starts at Gulfstream, 2 wins. This is going to be her first start at a route, but she seemed to be able to handle the 7 furlongs okay, winning by 12 lengths last time out. So 1 16th, probably not going to be a big deal either. So the 3, Mythical, my top selection.
Seem to remember somebody giving out this filly against the boys in the Tremont Stakes. I can't quite remember who that was.
Well, it wasn't you because you don't like fillies against the boys.
I do not. That was made it all the more interesting when I gave it out. But the 3-horse Mythical is the one to beat in here. I don't know what happened in the Spinaway, but Tommy Joe came back to win. Tommy Joe ended up in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, so no embarrassment there. Came out of the 10-hole last time out at Gulfstream Park. Loves the tracks. Two wins by a combined 20 lengths here. I don't see a lot else in here to challenge this filly. Going to be a single on a lot of pick fives, I'm sure. But the 3-horse Mythical is my top selection.
My second selection here, I went to the 4, Love Like Lucy. Safi Joseph trains on this one. Edgar Zayas has them out. 7-2 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen the 18th of October, going over the Gulfstream Park surface in an overnight stakes race where it got second by 12 lengths, losing to Mythical. With Edgar Zayas aboard. This horse has 3 career starts. Edgar Zayas has been aboard for all of them. Safi added blinkers last time out to try and get a little bit more speed out of the horse. It didn't really matter. Finished 12 lengths back of Mythical. But now we're stretching out to a mile from that 7 furlong start. So, but first time at a route, Safi Joseph does have a pretty good record, winning at a 24% clip. This is a my race horse, so who knows if you're going to get 7-2. I mean, you might still get 7-2 because all the money's going to go on Mythical, unfortunately. But I went to the 4, Love Like Lucy is my second selection in here.
Yeah, so did I. I just tried to look for another price in here, trying to zig when everybody else is zagging. There's just not a lot in here to, not a lot in here to put your shekels on if you're looking for at least maybe a decent exacta or the second leg of a trifecta. I Love Like Lucy, you mentioned, is a my racehorse, so it's going to get bet. Probably going to get bet more than it needs to be. No excuse last time out against Mythical. Safi Joseph, he's one of those guys that he has a way of sometimes turning the tables. Not so sure that'll be today, but I also made that my second selection.
Well, what are we going to do for the third one? I went to the 5-horse, Bayou Brigid. What the hell is a Bayou Brigid?
That's a Bridget who lives on the bayou.
Bayou Brigid. Heather Smullen trains on this one. Luca Panici has the mount. 10-1 morning line on this one. All right, so get your show bet in on Bayou Brigid at 10-1.
It's going to pay $210 to show.
Well, maybe, probably.
Unless Mythical runs off the board, everybody's going to pay $210 to show.
That's right. That's why you throw something on. That's why you throw your little show bet on Bayou Brigid. Horse was last seen the 25th of October at the Gulfstream Park in an overnight stakes race, going a mile over the turf, where it got third out of 9 horses with Luca Panici aboard. He's got some pretty good familiarity with this horse. This horse has 5 career starts. Luca Panici's been aboard it for 4 of them. This horse did make its debut against the boys twice. They trotted it out there for a maiden 70, going 5 furlongs in the Gulfstream Park turf, where it got second by 9 lengths. And then they did it again, where it got fourth by 4 lengths in a 10-horse field. So she's been pretty competitive against the boys. They finally said, you know what, enough of that. We're going to go against the girls, and wins by 2 1/4 lengths in a race that washed off of the Tapeta surface, or washed off the turf and ended up on the Tapeta surface. Still won by 2 1/4. So this is its first time trying dirt, so I like that angle. Trying a surface it's never tried before. Stretching out to, it's already got a race at a mile where it got 6th by 16 lengths in an overnight stakes race at Saratoga. 6 out of 7 horses, but started. Well, never mind. I was going to say something stupid there, but I caught myself. But anyway, I like the fact that we actually have a start at a mile and 16th. It should be bred to go all day. Averaged wind distance on the dam side is 7.8, so we're right there. And we're trying a different surface. So the 5, Bayou Brigid, is my third selection in here.
My third selection, I'm going to go to the 2-horse, Lady Chance, for Gary Jackson. William Law, Jose Leon has the mount here. This is a filly who has never been out of the trifecta at Gulfstream Park in 5 tries and only been out of the exacta once. Took 4 starts to break her maiden, but after that, they went into an open company stakes where she went off at 44-1 and ended up beating everybody but the winner. Now she's back in with state breds. I think for the exacta players in here, this one could probably give the Saffy Joseph horse a run for its money and maybe clunk up there or sneak in there for second. But I'll make the 2-horse Lady Chance my third choice.
All right, so I'm 3-4-5. You're 3-4-2.
Correct.
All right, race 6.
Race 6, Gulfstream Park. We've got a handicapped $100,000. This is a mile and 70 yards for 3 and up, and we're going on the Tapeta surface.
My top selection in here, I'm going to go to the 4-horse, Private Thoughts. Ronald Spatz trains on this one. Edgard Zayas has them out. 8-5 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen just a couple weeks ago, 2nd of November, going a mile over the turf in a handicap 70 where it got second by a neck with Edgard Zayas aboard. This horse has been primarily running on the turf. It did catch the all-weather surface in a race that rushed off of the turf back in September. Optional claiming 25, where it won by 2 lengths. Then before that, the last time it tried the all-weather was in an optional claiming 75 on this is the 24th of October, going a mile and 16th, where it won by 4 1/4 lengths. So last 2 times this horse has had a chance to run on the all-weather surface, it's taken to it pretty well. I think we're going to see that again today. 8 starts at Gulfstream Park, 4 wins, a second and a third. 6 starts at the distance, 3 wins, a second and a third. 8-5 morning line, the 4-horse Private Thoughts is my top selection.
My top selection, I'll go to the horse right below it, and that's the 5, Prevent. Carlos David, BC Racing, Amici Jaramillo has the mount in here. Last couple of starts, this is a horse that's yet to get the best of your top selection, the 4, Private Thoughts. Going to go to the lead. The other 2 horses I like in here, spoiler alert, including your top selection, are horses that are going to be trying to come from off the pace. But I got the Minister of Speed on this one, and he's going to try and take this one out as fast as he can and go as far as he can. 5 wins over the Gulfstream Park Tapeta, 4 wins at the distance. Definitely a horse for the course. There's other horses in here that do like this trip. That's for sure. But I'm going to go with the 5-horse, Prevent, to maybe take them gate to wire.
My third selection in here, I went to the 7-horse, Classic of
Second
Course.
selection.
My second selection in here, I went to the 7-horse, Classic of Course. 4-1 morning line on this one. Patrick Biancone trains. Jonathan Ocasio has the mount. This horse was last seen literally 2 weeks ago. I guess it's probably about 3 weeks ago now. The 8th of November in a handicap 70 with Jonathan Ocasio aboard, where it won by a half a length and was the betting favorite. Went off at even money in that race. So now we're getting a little bit of a last time out winner. Ignored just a little bit, 4-1 morning line. Amy Dunn bred this horse, and Patrick Biancone bought into part of it. So he owns part of this one along with the breeder, Amy Dunn. They're in a partnership together on this 3-year-old that already has 15 career starts. 10 of those have been at Gulfstream Park. 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 3 thirds. That's 9 for 10 in the trifecta. 3 starts at the distance, a win, and a 2 seconds. That's 100% in the trifecta. Square morning line of 4-1 on a last time out winner. It's being a little bit ignored, and also has the highest last race speed rating in a Brisnet of 90. So I went to the 7-horse, Classic of Course, as my second selection in here.
And my second selection is your top choice, the 4, Private Thoughts. Ron Spatz, Edgard Zayas up for this one. This going turf to synthetic angle has been pretty good for Spatz. 3 races back, it did beat a field of on the Tapeta surface, but that washed off of the turf. Back on the 6th of October last year, it did beat a field that was scheduled for the Tapeta surface with Drayden Van Dyke aboard. Won that one pretty handily. Is 5 out of 6 on the surface. Is 5 out of 6 at the distance. 91 buyer last time out. The top last buyer speed figure, so probably the one to beat. But a little pace dependent, maybe. This one's not going to come from the clouds. It can stay close to the pace. And that's going to be my second choice, the 4, Private Thoughts.
And my third selection is the 5 Prevent. So tell everybody how much you like the 7, and then we'll give them a nice trifecta box here.
My third selection is the 7 Classic, of course.
There you go.
Another horse that likes the surface, 2 for 2 in the exacta, three starts in the at the distance with a win in 2 seconds, so never have been out of the exacta. Another horse that's a little bit pace dependent, but again, not going to have to come from the clouds. I think that whoever gets the first move, maybe on the 5 horse Prevent, will get the better of it. But the 7 horse Classic, of course, is my third selection.
All right, so I'm 4-7-5. You're 5-4-7.
Correct.
The trifecta box that may not pay anything.
All
right, race 7.
Race 7, Gulfstream Park. We have an optional claiming non-winners of 2 other than. This is for 3-year-olds and upward, and we're going 7.5 furlongs on the grass.
My top selection in here, I went to the 1 horse, Quarimi Pass. Jose D'Angelo trains on this one. Edgar Zayas has them out. 9-2 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen at Kentucky Downs, running in an optional claiming 80,000 non-winners at 2X, going 7 furlongs, where it wins by a head with Frankie Dettori aboard. Was completely ignored at the window, and that one went off at almost 11-1, and just ran a really solid race. Winning by a head. Must have taken a lot out of the horse because it's been off for 2 months. But Jose D'Angelo knows when to bring him back. He's winning a 20% clip. That's after 517 starts, by the way. 20% clip when he brings him back from that time, time frame off. But yeah, I like, you know me, if you listen to this, I like anybody exiting Kentucky Downs, especially with a good effort at Kentucky Downs. Jose D'Angelo and Edgar Zayas have been pretty hot the last 14 days. 8 starts together, 3 wins in a second, so 50% in the exacta. Square morning line of 9-2. The 1, Quarimi Pass, is my top selection.
My top selection, I'm going to go to the 3 horse Spirit Prince for Miguel Clement. Jersey Joe Bravo is up for this one. In all honesty, I have to say that, been around this game for a long time, and there was a time when Miguel Clement's father, Christophe Clement, would bring a horse off of a layoff at Gulfstream Park of 90 days or 6 months, and probably with Jose Santos aboard back in the day, and go off at 12-1 or 16-1, and I would bet it with both fists, as they say. So there's a little bit of me that sees, when I see the name Clement and I see a horse making a first start off of a layoff at Gulfstream Park, it's kind of hard for me to ignore it. And as you pointed out, this one is also exiting a race at Kentucky Downs. Ran into a nice horse there named Quattrocento, who also came back to win its next race. I'm not giving you anything great on the morning line here at 2-1, but I do think that this is a horse that they've been spotting for this. Pretty well meant in here. So would like to see a little bit more of a live jockey on there than Jersey Joe, but I will make the 3 horse Spirit Prince my top selection.
And the 3 horse Spirit Prince is my second selection. Highest last race speed rating of a 91 Brisnet. And yeah, exiting a good effort there at Kentucky Downs. So the 3 Spirit Prince is my second selection.
And my second selection is the horse right above it. It's all coming together for Lisa Bartkowski, Amicio Jaramillo aboard for this one. This horse has tried Gulfstream Park a couple of times. In the spring, it was still in the championship meet, back on March 29th. In this exact same condition, optional claiming, non-winners of 2, with Luis Saez aboard. This horse ran a big second. I don't think that's the weekend we're there. I think that was the weekend after we were there, because I think that was like closer to the Final 4 for the tournament.
Yeah.
But this horse ran a big race there and then shipped into its New York base. It is a New York bred, so that makes all the sense in the world. That horse that it ran Sherlock's that on the 29th of March. Come on, Mark, spit it out.
Sherlock's
Irad
Jewel.
was up for that horse, and I think that horse paid like $41. Sherlock's Jewel, you're right. That's what made me think that maybe we were there. But in any case, now this is a horse that has some speed, coming back to a track that it has shown some affinity for. 5 out of 6 at the distance, and no, we don't have Luis Saez, so we get the next best thing. We get a Misael Jaramillo. I really like the chances of this one. It fits the condition. Non-winners of 2 other than. It's got 4 lifetime wins because some of the wins were in state competition versus New York breds. Nice morning line of 6-1. So the 2 horse, it's all coming together. That's my second choice.
Yeah, the 2 horse, it's all coming together is my third selection in here. Misael Jaramillo, pretty hot the last week. 14 starts, 4 wins, a second and a third. So he's been riding really well. But yeah, and we definitely weren't there because when we were there, Irad didn't win shit.
That's right. That was the Irad doesn't win shit weekend, I remember.
That was the Irad doesn't win shit week. That was also the Irad fucked up our show parlay where he pulls up we got $220 for him to show when he's riding the favorite and he pulls up going around the turn. Yeah. Yeah, the 2 horse, it's all coming together is my third selection.
And my third selection, I'll go all the way to the outside to the 8 horse Palazzi for Mark Cassie and Gary Barber. Edgar Gonzalez is up for this. This horse has just flat out been facing better horses. It's a 7-year-old, getting a little long in the tooth, coming off of a layoff April 19th back at Tampa Bay where it was in for the claim in an optional 100. Does have 2 wins out of 4 starts at the distance. This 7-year-old could be in for the claim here for $62,000, but it's not exposed to the claim. If you're going to have a claim for 162, really, that's that big of a deal. Off the layoff, you're getting 6-1 on a horse purely from a class basis, has been definitely facing better. Only 1 race so far in 2025, and now the layoff. We'll see where we go with this one, but I'll make the 8 horse Palazzi my third choice.
My 4th selection here, I went to the 7, Eyes on the King. Jose D'Angelo trains on this one. JJ Castellano has the mount. 5-2 morning line on this one. This is a horse that's making a trainer change. It was last seen the 20th of August at Colonial in a $75,000 optional claiming, where it got 3rd by a neck, was completely ignored at the window, went off at over 9-1. Horse that won that race and the horse that got 2nd in that race both came back and won their very next races. So 3rd by a neck to those 2. So quality field there. The barn decides to move to Jose D'Angelo and away from Mark Cassie. So we're making a trainer switch. We're switching to a higher percentage winning trainer than Mark Cassie. So maybe looking at a little bit of a trainer bump here. Horse has been off for 3 months. Jose D'Angelo pretty good off the layoff. 4 starts at Gulfstream and no wins. 5 starts at the distance and 1 win. My 5-2 morning line, I'd like to see my horse at least have a win at the surface. But we are making a trainer change and coming back off of a layoff. So I went to the 7, Eyes on the King, as my 4th selection.
Yeah, my 4 selection's your chop choice, the 1, Karemi Pass. This is the other Jose D'Angelo. This is the higher price of the uncoupled entry. Horse that's going to show some speed from the wheel. That was a real nice race at 7 furlongs at Kentucky Downs where it came out of the 10-hole with Frankie Dettori up, wired the field there. This is a horse that there's no secret what it's going to do. The gate's going to open, the horse is going to go. Maybe Zayas and Jaramillo are going to be battling all the way around to set it up for somebody like Spirit Prince. We shall see. But I will make the 1 horse Karemi Pass my top 4th selection.
All right, so I'm 1-3-2-7. You're 3-2-8-1.
Correct.
All right, race 8.
Race 8 at Gulfstream Park, we've got an $8,000 condition claiming race. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. This is for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.70 miles on the Tapeta.
My top selection in here, I'm going to go to the 8-horse Bravo Kitten. Fernando Abreu trains on this one. JJ Castellano has them out. 6-1 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen the 31st of August going over the turf at Gulfstream, going a mile in a claiming 17.5 beaten, where it got 5th out of 7 horses with Luca Panici aboard. That was the first race after Fernando Abreu made the claim. He claimed this horse for $8,000 in July in a horse where it won second, or got second by a neck. It was the betting favorite in that race. The comments say off a step slow. So he did something that we like to see, and it didn't work out. He claims the horse, he bumps it up, and he changes the surface, and it just did not work out for him. So now he drops it back in for the 8,000. Brings it back to the all-weather surface where it should be his preferred surface, and coming back off of a layoff after that last run. Fernando Abreu second off the claim, but the drop down in class and the surface change should be what this horse is looking for at a 6-1 morning line. So the 8 Bravo Kitten is my top selection in here.
Top selection, I'm going to go to the 7-horse, Dialythic. Victor Barbosa. This is actually the higher, I believe this is the higher price. Victor have 2 in here. Yeah, this is the HPU, Victor Barbosa. He has Yolber Torres on this one. He took Yolber off of his other horse, the lower price of the uncoupled entry, replacing Pimentel in the irons. $8,000 is kind of the level that this horse needs. It's been riding. It broke its maiden. It cleared the 8,000 now-winners of 2 Life back in July, and then has been trying the same $8,000 and has not been embarrassed. Second, third, fourth by 2 last time out. Led and yielded. I think that this horse, with this, the apprentice jockey, Yolber Torres, is off to a nice start. He's having a nice meet. He's got 50 wins already. I don't know how long he's going to have his bug. But the fact that Barbosa decides to put him on this part of the entry really, really intrigued me. So morning line is square. Like the connections, the 7, Dialythic, is my top selection.
My second selection here, I'm going to go to the 2, Diamonds and Thrills. Victor Barbosa trains on this one. Jose Morelos with the mount. 5-1 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen a couple weeks ago, 7th of November, going a mile 16th on the all-weather surface at this condition, and an 8,000 claiming beaten, where it got 3rd by 1 1/4 lengths. Comments here say swung 5 to 6 wide and then closed well. So yeah, on the straight it was 6 by 3 1/4 and ended up getting 3rd by 1 1/4. 2 races back, same condition, same distance, bobbled at the start, still came back for 2nd by a length. Both of those races and the last 4 races have been with Yolber Torres aboard. This is now an apprentice off. Yolber Torres actually did get a win on this horse back in July at the 12,500 beaten level. So we're taking a step down from that last win, but I like the apprentice off angle. This horse does have 11 starts at Gulfstream, 3 wins in 4 seconds, and 11 starts at the distance, 3 wins in 4 seconds. Victor Barbosa winning at a 20% clip for the year, 21% at Gulfstream Park, and 23% in these claiming races. Square morning line of 5-1. The 2, Diamond Thrills, is my second selection.
My second selection is the horse right above, the filly right above it, Heaven's Promise for Kelly Blake. Hector Caramanos has the mount here. This is a horse that broke its maiden for 17.5 over this Gulfstream Park Tapeta surface all the way back in April of this year. And then it's been pretty ambitiously spotted. Tried the grass, a couple that washed off the grass, shipped into Delaware, Colonial, Laurel. Now it's back to Gulfstream Park, the site of where it broke its maiden, and it's in for $8,000, which happens to be half of its maiden claiming price. I think this horse is really, really well meant in here. Small sample size, but Kelly Blake and Caramanos are winning at 31%. The horse does have a win over the surface and 2 wins at the distance. Nice morning line of 10-1. I like the filly Heaven's Promise as my second choice.
Yeah, and the one Heaven's Promise is my third selection in here. Finally getting properly spotted after 6 or 7 races here of being overly ambitiously spotted. I noted that right away. Wins by 1.5 for 17.5. Should have been coming back for 8. 8 non-winners at 2 life, but at least 8 has never been there except for today. So 10-1 morning line on the one Heaven's Promise. That's my third selection.
And my third selection, I'm going to go to another nice morning line, and that's the 4 Pretty Things for Jorge Delgado. Amicio Jaramillo's up for this one. This is an Irish-bred filly. Yes, I understand. When you get down to 10,000 claimers and 8,000 claimers and now there's a 2 and now there's a 3 lifetime, the breeding just doesn't really matter all that much. But this is another one. Broke its maiden for $16,000. Last time out was the first time it was in for half of that claiming price. It was in for $75,000, running on the grass at the Meadowlands. This is a filly that likes to go to the front. I've got the Minister of Speed on board going from the turf to the synthetic surface. She had 2 starts on the synthetic surface. One was a maiden special weight where she just didn't belong, and one was a maiden 25 that washed off with Tyler Gaffleone aboard. Now for half of her claiming price, 16 down to 8, with some speed, I like the 4-horse Pretty Things, 12-1 morning line. That's my third choice.
In my fourth selection in here, I went to the 5-horse Cam's Princess. 6-1 morning line on this horse. Antonio Sanu trains. Edmund Gonzalez has them out. Horse was last seen a couple weeks ago, 2nd of November, going 1 mile and 16th over the all-weather surface here at Gulfstream Park, and an 8,000 non-winners of 2 life, where it won by 4 lengths. Was the heavy betting favorite in that race, went off at a little less than 2-1. That horse did run the highest last race speed rating of anybody in this field with a 78 Brisnet speed figure. Horse has kind of actually been properly spotted. I mean, it broke its maiden earlier this year for $35,000, maiden claiming by 4 3/4, and then went into optional claiming 35, and then claiming 35, and wasn't really performing all that well. Dropped all the way down to 12.5. Didn't do much better, a little bit of an improvement, up to 17.5, not an improvement, and then finally down into 8 non-winners of 2 life, where it got second by a length and then finally won by 4 lengths out. But that 78 Brisnet speed figure is the highest speed figure in the last 10 starts. It has 17 career starts, but the last 10 it did fire its highest last race speed rating. It's only a 3-year-old, so maybe coming together here at a 6-1 morning line. I went to the 5 Cam's Princess as my fourth selection.
And my fourth selection, I'm going to go to a real square morning line, and that's the 9-horse Charlie's Beauty for Kathleen O'Connell. Luca Panici's in the irons for this one. Filly that 2 races back won 8,000 claiming, just slightly coming off the pace. Luca was there for this one. Adios Charlie out of a Fed Biz mare. This is a filly that really should take to this Tapeta surface. It's only been on the synthetic once, and Kathleen O'Connell definitely knows her way around the synthetic surface. I don't know why she hadn't tried this horse more on synthetic, but she is going from dirt to synthetic on this one now, and keeping it stretched out, which I like. It's not going into a cutback. I do not know what happened on that last race, 7th of November. Just got to draw a line through it. Can't blame the rail for that. Did get bet 5-2 and didn't run a lick. But if you go back to that race right before it, 63 Beyer speed figure, just coming off the pace, stalking the pace. That one's good enough to make it competitive in here, and the 20-1 morning line certainly caught my eye. So I will make the 9-horse Charlie's Beauty my fourth selection.
All right, so I'm 8-2-1-5. You're 7-1-4-9.
Correct.
All right, race 9.
Race 9, Gulfstream Park, another optional claiming, non-winners of 2 other than. This one's for 3-year-olds and up, and we're going 5 furlongs on the grass.
My top selection in here, I'm going to go to the 2-horse XY Speed. Michael Lerman trains on this one. Emiseo Jaramillo has the mount. 2-1 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen the 26th of October, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf and an optional claiming 62. Same condition, where it got second by a head with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard. It took almost all the money in that one. Went off at little less than 1.5 to 1. Went out in 20 seconds. That was the pace. That's not what Emiseo Jaramillo took it out in, but it was chasing a 20-second pace in that race, and Emiseo Jaramillo ended up bringing it home for second by a head. 2 races back, bobbled at the start and had a bad showing there, but another blistering speed. This horse has found itself in 20-second, 21-second fractions, 21-second fractions. In its last couple of races, I don't know if there's anybody in here that's going to run that on the lead. I was trying to figure out where the speed was going to come from. Probably the 3-horse, but if it does, the 3-horse is maybe running a 21 or a 22, but definitely not a 20. So I like the 2-horse XY Speed, the 9-year-old, as my top selection in here.
My top selection, I'm going to go to the 6-horse, Win From Within for Jose D'Angelo. Yolber Torres has the mount. Horse that's been trying to get on the turf the last 2 starts. Last time it was on the grass back in June at Laurel, an optional claiming $55,000, not in for the tag that day. Came back and did show some speed. Albeit on the Tapeta surface, stretched out from 5 furlongs to 1.70 miles, and went about as far as it could. It wanted no part of that distance. This is a horse that wants to go shorter, so they backed it up to 5 furlongs the next time out. Unfortunately, that one washed off the turf too. That was a stakes race, so he didn't get his Lasix that day. Now he's getting Lasix back on its preferred surface. And the apprentice jockey, Yolber Torres. This is a higher price of an uncoupled entry for Jose D'Angelo. And I really believe this one's live. I love the morning line at 12 to 1, and that's going to be my top choice. Win From Within.
My second selection here, I went to the 7, Okiro. Jose Garofalo trains on this one. Jose Morales has the mount. 9 to 2 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen the 26th of October, going over 5 furlongs over the Gulfstream Park turf surface at this exact condition. We got third by a length with Lionel Reyes aboard. Same race as my top selection, XY Speed. Comments here say off a step slow. You get off a step slow in a 5 furlong race on the turf, you're pretty much done. But this comments in here say gaining. So who knows? Without it being a step slow, maybe it comes back and maybe it wins that field that day. Went off at a little over 6.5 to 1. Now I'm getting 9 to 2 on that same horse. So square morning line, I went to the 7, Okiro, as my second selection in here.
My second selection is your top choice, the 2 XY Speed. This is just a gritty old veteran, 16 lifetime wins. Loves the course, loves the distance, should be able to run down. It is a little bit speed dependent. Last time out of the 5-horse, Make It to Cheyenne, did get the jump on it. I think XY Speed is definitely ready to turn the tables on that one today. Definitely the horse to beat. So I will make that my second choice.
And my third selection in here, I went to the 3-horse, Cruisin' Man, 8 to 1 morning line on this one. Rohan Crichton trains. J.J. Castellano has the mount. This horse was last seen the 26th of October, going 5 furlongs over the turf at this exact same condition, where it got 5th, but only by 1.5 lengths with Raylo Gutierrez aboard. So a good performance there. This horse has 8 starts at Gulfstream Park, has no wins, but has 3 seconds and 3/3. So actually 6 for 8 in the trifecta with no wins. So you get a square morning line of 8 to 1 on that horse. Again, this is a horse was in the same race who was chasing 20s into the pace there. So. I'm not real sure where the speed is going to come from. I think this
right
horse
there.
may get on the lead. Yeah, this horse may get on the lead. It may be the 6-horse on the lead. If either one of these horses is on the lead, I think XY Speed has it. especially if the 6, because I don't see the 6 setting any 20 and 21 fractions in here. So the 3, Cruisin' Man, early speed, is going to be my third selection in here.
Third selection, I'm going to go to the 5 horse, Make It to Cheyenne. This is the horse that did get the jump on XY Speed last time out. I really don't see that happening in here. Although this is a horse that does have 2 wins at the distance and does have that win at the track after shipping in. It raced on the Tapeta surface and won with Irad Ortiz up back on March 7th, and then went into an overnight at Churchill Downs, then tried the Tapeta at Presque Isle, the turf at Colonial, the turf at Monmouth. I do think that this is a horse that does like the surface, does want the grass, kind of lightly raced, but I'm never crazy about a horse that has 8 starts, 3 wins, no seconds, no thirds. It kind of wins when it's much the best. I definitely don't think it's much the best today, but you never know. Alawi is always something you and I look at, but don't you missed the wedding, don't go to the funeral. If you didn't have it at 14-1, it's kind of hard to play at 3-1.
All right, and my 4th selection is also the 5, Make It to Cheyenne. So give us your 4th.
My 4th selection is probably the lone speed in here. That's the 3, Cruisin' Man. Don't think that this one can take them all the way. Never won on the Gulfstream Park turf, and 1 out of 10 at the distance. But who knows? With the jock change to Javier Castellano, we shall see. But that one's definitely going to be the target. The 3, Cruisin' Man's my 4th choice.
All right, so I'm 2-7-3-5. You're 6-2-5-3.
That's correct.
All right, race 10.
Race 10, we have the In Reality Stakes. This is for 2-year-olds going 1 1/16 on the main track.
All right, my top selection in here, I went to the 1 horse, Kozalite. Jose D'Angelo trains on this one. Edgard Zayas has them out. 9-5 morning line on this horse. This horse was last seen running in an overnight stakes race the 18th of October in a restricted overnight stake where it won by 4 lengths with Lionel Reyes aboard. Was the betting favorite in that race, but the bettors were looking at it as kind of a wide open field. It went off at over 3.5-1, which is pretty high for a favorite in a stakes race. So just blew him away by 4 lengths. 2 races back, broke its maiden against Open Company by 2 lengths with Lionel Reyes aboard. That was right after trying a state-bred race where it got second by 1.5. So makes the improvement to Open Company, and then from the Open Company maiden makes the jump into a overnight stakes race. A significant buyer speed figure increases on this one, 68 to a 76 to an 89 the last time out. That is the highest last race speed rating of anybody in this field. Switches to a high percentage jockey from Lionel Reyes to Edgard Zayas. 9-5 morning line. The 1, Kozalite, is my top selection in here.
Top selection, I'm going to go to the horse right below it, the 2, Prost, for Jose D'Angelo. That is the HPU Jose D'Angelo with Miggy Vasquez aboard. Horse making its 2nd lifetime start, stretching out from 7 furlongs to 1 1/8. We've talked on this podcast before about 2-year-olds starting at the distance of 7 furlongs or even at 1 mile or 1 1/16. When a trainer really believes that the horse has some talent, that's a pretty salty distance to start out at. This one did not only started out at 7 furlongs, but ran them off their feet. Went 22-4, 46 for the first 2, and the comment is as the rider pleased. Miggy was probably backing this one down at the end, and now stretching out from 7 furlongs to 1 1/16. This one's going to be a handful in here. Like I say, the 1 Kozalite's going to be the morning line favorite. He's going to be the post time favorite, and he's going to be the horse to beat. I don't think Jose D'Angelo just throws this one to the wolves. I think this one's very, very well meant in here, and you're going to get a price. So I like the 2, Prost, as my top selection.
My second selection here, I'm going to go to the 4, Hawk. Carlos David trains on this one. Joe Bravo has the mount. 15-1 morning line on this horse. This horse has not yet broken its maiden in 3 starts. So hasn't broken its maiden, but is doing its second overnight stakes race for Carlos David. Horse was last seen the 8th of November trying to break its maiden in a state-bred maiden 53 where it got second by a head. It went off as the even money favorite in there. It went as 1-1. So now we get a last time out favorite ignored. But you also have a 21% trainer that's confident enough in this horse to throw it into an overnight stakes race against Open Company. Maybe not. That's not Open Company, right? This is a state-bred race. I'm dumb.
Yep.
Tell me I'm dumb.
You're dumb.
I'm dumb. All right. That was a dumb thing to say. Still, 21% trainer throwing its horse into a stakes race without even having broken its maiden. It has tried the overnight stakes level before, ran into Kozolite, ran into Strategic Risk, who's in this field, ran into Squire, who's also in this field. Finished 4th to all those guys out of 11 horses, 5 3/4 lengths back. So a decent showing there. But at 15-1, I'm just curious enough for Carlos David to throw this one in there, having not broken its maiden yet. And just a little side stat here: when Carlos David brings them back after they're a beaten favorite, he wins at a 27% clip. So the 4 Hawk 15-1 morning line is my second choice.
In the unlikely event that this horse wins, are you going to tweet out, you can put it on the board, yes?
Nobody else is going to get that except you, me, and El Cid.
I didn't ask if anyone was going to get it. I asked if you were going to do it.
I'll probably tag. I take that back. I would have tagged Hawk Harrelson in it, but he definitely doesn't have a Twitter. He might have. I don't know. But I like horses with 1-syllable names. I think the next one we just need a 1-syllable named horse.
Like Prost?
Prost, yes, or Hawk. But those names are already taken. We'll have to come up with something else.
Okay.
All right.
Second choice in here, I'm going to go to the 10 horse, the Town, for Brad Cox. Amicio Jaramillo's up for this one. This horse started against Open Company in a maiden claiming $150,000 at Keeneland back on October 24th. It was off slow from the 3-hole, broke 12th, and then circled every other horse in the race except for one. Brad Cox, a pretty sharp trainer, pretty sharp reader of the condition book. He probably was pointed for this one all along. He knew that this $300,000 purse was waiting for him. So the fact that it didn't win, second, first, didn't matter. He was coming here anyway. I'm not sure. You got Jaramillo aboard. I'm not sure if he's going to come off the pace. They're going to try and show some speed in here because it was off slow last time out. But either way, I think this one is pretty well meant. The 10 horse, the Town, Brad Cox, second choice.
And my third selection is the 2 Prost. So Miggy Vasquez at a price. Don't want to overlook that. So give us your third.
My third choice is your top selection, the 1, Kozolite. Definitely the horse to beat in here. The buyers, when you see the buyers are not just going up, they're going up by leaps and bounds. You go from 48 to 62, 62 to 77. Any kind of a buyer near that puts the next buyer at something close to a 90. Very impressive out of the 11 post position last time at 7 furlongs. Not afraid to stretch out. Jose D'Angelo, definitely. Lionel Reyes broke his ankle a month back, so he's in recovery. He gets Edgar Zayas to ride this one, another one of his go-to people. So, yeah, all systems go for the morning line favorite, the 1, Kozolite, my third selection.
My fourth selection here, I'm going to go to the 5, Strategic Risk. Mark Cassey trains on this one. J.J. Castellano has the mount. This horse was last seen the 18th of October in an overnight stakes race where it got third by 5 3/4 with Marrero Mirag aboard. Ran into Kozolite and Squire in that one, finishing third to those guys by 5 3/4. This horse broke its maiden in June in a state-bred 53 by 8 1/4 and went immediately into the Sanford at Saratoga. where it finishes fourth, 16 lengths back of Obliteration, just like everybody else did. Obliteration obliterated everybody is what they did. He won by 10 lengths in that one. But that was pretty ballsy of Mark Casse to ship from Gulfstream up into the Sanford, having broken its maiden in a state-bred maiden and then going into open company. Keeps it at Saratoga and runs it with anticipation, stretches it out to 1 mile and 16th and goes over the turf. Finished dead-ass last, 6 out of 6 horses, 10 lengths back. But that was too big of a field. Then comes back in this overnight stakes race, going 7 furlongs and third to Kozolite and Squire. If we see a similar performance today or tomorrow, we're going to get paid at an 8-1 morning line. So the 5 Strategic Risk is my 4th selection.
And my 4th selection, I will go to the 7 horse Squire. Horse that ran second to Kozolite last time out. Jonathan Ocasio's up for this Patrick Biancone trainee. Broke its maiden first time out at Gulfstream Park. Got bet in that race too, down to 5-1. They tried the Royal Palm on the grass last time out. Didn't get embarrassed, but I still think that the dirt is its best surface. Came back into the Dr. Fager. Beaten 3 lengths as the favorite in that race. And then Biancone again stubbornly tries the grass against open company and then decides to come back and in the affirmed where it runs second to Kozolite. It's my 4th choice in here. Maybe this horse can, running on the same surface twice in a row. We'll see if it can improve from there. 6-1 morning line. I'll make the 7 Squire my 4th choice.
All right, so I'm 1-4-2-5. You're 2-10-1-7.
Correct.
All right, we're coming down the stretch. Race 11.
Race 11 at Gulfstream Park. We have an optional claiming 17.5, non-winners of 2 life, and we're going 1 mile and 16th on the turf. Good luck if you're alive in the pick 4 and the pick 5.
Yep, because I'm giving out a
actually,
price.
good luck if you're alive in the pick 6, because I think it's a force out tomorrow.
Yep, pay attention because I'm giving out a price. I'm going to the 4 horse, Change at Jamaica. Victor Barboza trains on this one. Emma Sale Jaramillo has the mount. 10-1 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen the 19th of October running at this exact same condition with Emma Sale Jaramillo aboard, where it got third by 2 lengths. The comments here say swung 5 to 6 wide and closed well. So anytime you're being swung 5 to 6 wide, it's a tall task to take on. Was 7th out of 11 horses at the straight and ended up 3rd by 2. Emma Sale Jaramillo is the only jockey this horse has ever had. It's got 6 career starts on it. And he does have a win, breaking its maiden for $25,000 back almost a year ago, and it was claimed from Mark Casse in that race for $25,000. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. It was second in that one. Switched the trainer to Victor Barboza. Or I'm sorry, that didn't even work either. God damn, I'm tired and I'm a little drunk. Anyway, after being claimed, breaks its maiden first time out for $35 by a neck with Emma Sale Jaramillo aboard. Then immediately into an overnight stakes race where it finishes 8th out of 8 horses. And then they finally bring it back this year. It's September. 17.5 non-winners, a 2 4th, and then 17.5 non-winners, a 2 3rd by 2. Highest last race speed rating of a 79. And coming back third off of the layoff for Victor Barboza, who's a 21% trainer, 20% in 2025, and 25% coming third off of the layoff. Emma Sale Jaramillo, despite going through his 3rd trainer, still loves riding this horse. So at 10-1, I went to the 4, Change at Jamaica, as my top selection in here.
My top selection, I'll go to the 6 horse, Eaton, single syllable horse for Carlos David and Zilla Racing.
That's not a single Eaton. Eaton is 2 syllables.
Oh, Eton.
Eton or Eaton is still 2 syllables.
Eaton. Okay. It's also Zilla. Zilla's 2 syllables.
Okay.
Yolbert Torres has the mount. This is a first off the claim for Carlos David. He's 32% first off the claim. Horse was also claimed back from Brian Lynch back on January 11th for $25,000. Came right back for $17,500. Non-winners at 2 life for Chad Stewart. Wasn't Chad Stewart with you down there when we made our buy?
He was. He was the one that bought the horse. Yeah.
Our friend Chad Stewart. This horse was claimed from our friend Chad Stewart. I think that this horse is pretty well meant in here. The blinkers are going on for a horse that already shows some speed. Well placed, no rally is the comment. Last time out at 1.70 miles. 5-2 morning line is no great shakes, but I'm going to make the 6 Eaton my top selection.
And the 6 Eaton is my second selection in here. First after the claim, Carlos David winning at a 29% clip. I love horses first after the claim anyway, but I really love them if Carlos David has it at 29%. So yeah, the 6 horse 5-2 Eaton is my second selection in here.
And my second selection is your top choice, the 4 Change at Jamaica. Like this horse, I drew a line through the March 24th Gulfstream Park overnight stakes. Why? Because I can. No, because it didn't get Lasix in that race. So then, if I draw a line through that one, the buyer speed figures go 47, 45, 47, 60, 61, 65. So heading in the right direction. Obviously likes the surface. He's 3 out of 6 on the turf and 3 out of 6 over this particular turf course. Closed well is the comment last time out. I hope there's enough speed in here to make this one relevant, but I think there will be. Jaramillo maybe keeps this one a little bit closer, not so sure, but 10-1 morning line, as you pointed out, is a really nice price. So I'm going to make the 4 Change at Jamaica my second choice.
My third selection here, I'm going to go to the 7 horse Simo. Carlos David training on this one. Edwin Gonzalez has them out. 10-1 morning line on this one. This horse was last seen the 7th of November going 1.16 over the Tapeta surface in a 12.5 non-winners at 2 life, where it got second by a half a length with Sammy Camacho aboard. Pretty much ignored at the windows. 6-1 morning line on this one. So we're making a jump back up in class a little bit. We're going from 12.5 to 17.5. Horse is coming back third off of the layoff. Pretty good for stats on Carlos David, third after layoff, 21% clip and 21% win percentage for the year. So I like the bump, and I like the third back off to the layoff. And I like the 10-1 morning line. So the 7, Simo, is going to be my third selection.
And my third selection, I'm going to go to the rail horse, Big Bob, for Mark Passley, Move Horse Inc. Mickey Vasquez is up for this one. This one's a Lowy. Normally, I see a horse that breaks his maiden for 17.5. You and I both know that horse should be coming back for 9,000, maybe 10,000. But the reason that I gave this horse another chance was it did make that win out of the 11 post position at Gulfstream Park. That's awful tough to win from out there at Gulfstream Park. Maybe this horse is just finally figuring things out. The buyer jumped from 56 to 70 in that race. Prior to that, we've had Jaramillo, we had Gonzalez. Maybe Miggy Vasquez he's got good numbers with Passley. Maybe Miggy and the horse get a little bit of synergy going as well. So I'm going to make the 1 horse, Big Bob, Alawi, my third choice.
In my fourth selection in here, I'm going to go to the 11 horse, Bulldoze. Nick Zito trains on this one. Edgar Zayas has them out. Rapoli Stables bought this horse for $260,000 at auction, and you can have it today for the low price of $17.5. This horse did break its maiden. It's only a 3-year-old. Broke its maiden in March at second asking at this very place, going a mile and an eighth over the turf in a maiden 94, won by a neck with Irad aboard. Coming out of the 9-hole on the turf horse, and it took a lot of the money in that race too. Went off at 1.5 to 1, and then things just kind of fell apart, and it didn't. It's got a third place finish and an allowance 110 at Saratoga in a race that washed off the turf and ended up on a muddy surface. Other than that, has been out of the money. They took the Todd Pletcher said, forget this. They moved it over to Nick Zito. Nick Zito's had 2 starts with it, an allowance 110 with 6, where it finished 6th at Saratoga, and then a claiming 35 non-winners, a 2 at BAQ, where it finished 10th out of 12 horses, going a mile and 16th. So taking a big drop in class from that 35 non-winners, a 2 down to 17, 5 non-winners, a 2. Getting Edgard Zayas, so we're switching from Lane Luzzy the last 2 times out to Edgard Zayas. Returning to the scene of the crime where it did break its maiden, in a much weaker pool today at Gulfstream Park in a 17.5 is what it's been facing at Saratoga and Keeneland and BAQ. So 6-1 morning line on a horse that Mike Rapoli is happy to get rid of. The 11 Bulldoze is my 4th selection in here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a sentimental reason. Mike Rapoli. This is actually the second Mike Rapoli horse that Nick Zito's training on this card. I had some really, really nice hits with Nick Zito over the years. Go for Gin back in the 2004 Kentucky Derby at 10-1. Birdstone denying Smarty Jones the Triple Crown at 36-1. That was a real nice. That was a real nice one for me. But boy, even Nick Zito in his heyday, his one Achilles heel was always grass horses. So I wish them well. Can't say anything bad about Nick Zito. I'm not sure how much of the training he's actually doing these days. But Mike Rapoli, good on you to throw a couple of horses to old Nick. 4th choice, I'll go to the horse right above it, Swinging Solo, Kent Sweezy, Starry Night Racing. Horse that's going from synthetic to the turf course. 2 races back, J. Kent Sweezy claimed this one out of a turf race with Joe Bravo aboard. Puts Joe Bravo back on. Dylan Davis was down there back in March. He had the mount where this horse actually went off the favorite on the Tapeta. Now going from the Tapeta to the turf course, going to totally be overlooked at the windows. You never know. This one could be a little bit live at a price 12-1. So I will make the 10-horse Swinging Solo my 4th selection.
All right, so I'm 4, 6, 7, 11. You're 6, 4, 1, 10.
Correct.
All right, we've hit the wire. The one thing about doing this at night is difference is in the morning I'm starting to wake up, so I'm going to be a little bit sharper towards the end of the card, and then as I'm starting to wind down here in the evening, I can tell I'm not quite as sharp, and my cocktail did not help it either, but it is gone. There is the rattling ice cube in there, the sound of disappointment. So, all right, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I do not.
No? Okay. All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week. Not inaugural, because we did it last year, stupid. Why are you using big words when they don't even fit? The first Gulfstream Park of the season in the books. So, remember, always sprinkle a little money on the gray horse, and you're never broke at the track as long as the friend you brought with you still has some money.
If you like the show, hit us up on X, and we'll give you a shout out at Fast and Firm Guys. And until next week, good luck and good racing.
And until next week, take care.
At Verbo, we understand that even the best of plans sometimes need a little support. So we plan for the plot twists. Every booking is automatically backed by our Verbo Care Guarantee, giving you confidence from the very start. Whenever you need help, it's ready. Before your stay, through the moments in between, and after your trip. Because a great trip starts with peace of mind. And maybe a good playlist. But we've got the peace of mind part covered.